no doubt, bands, photographers, pretty girls handing over bouquets of flowers, so much smiling. Schulenburg was smiling. He was chatting with Molotov in the grandiose meeting room that Stalin had decided would be best suited to greeting Ribbentrop. He and the other members of the Politburo were sitting or standing in ragged groups. Candidate members, underlings. It had become a little party, and the drink was flowing. In a pause in the conversation, Schulenburg looked at the scene before him and, unaccountably, shuddered. There was something wrong here, he was sure. He had a nebulous presentiment that refused to come into any real focus, a feeling that all was not quite how it seemed. It was a curious and unpleasant experience, a form of déjà vu, in which one has not merely been through the present moment before, but last time it was different. Molotov was looking at him curiously. "Are you all right, my friend?" he asked. Schulenburg looked at Molotov and realized that, to an extent, they really were friends. They had spent many hours discussing relations between their great states and discovered many commonalities in their personalities and interests. Schulenburg understood with a small shock that there was a kind regard between them, a mutual respect, even a fondness. The presentiment niggled at him, telling him that, in all worlds, that friendship was doomed. "The time is out of joint," he said quietly to himself. "What was that?" Schulenburg shook his head and smiled, embarrassed. "Ach, just a line from Shakespeare. The time is out of joint. Hamlet says it when he is thinking of the current state of affairs in Denmark, how things are not right, but may be repaired." He raised his glass and saluted Molotov with it. "May today's meeting mark the beginning of that healing and presage a golden age between my fatherland and your motherland." As Molotov raised his own glass, an attaché appeared at Schulenburg's elbow. "Excellency," he whispered, "a telephone call for you, from Berlin." "Here?" Perhaps they really did not care about confidentiality at all. They might as well transmit the conversation in clear Russian over the airwaves as expect a borrowed line in the Kremlin to be secure. Making his excuses, he made his way to the small office that the Soviets had put aside for his use. As he'd left the meeting room, he'd seen Merkelov lifting a telephone receiver, no doubt to tell his eavesdroppers to be ready. Schulenburg pursed his lips as he picked up the handset in the office. Very well. He would have an unseen audience. "Schulenburg, a moment, please." As he waited to be connected, he briefly wondered what might be so important. Perhaps the deal was off. It had seemed too good to be true after all. It would hardly be the first time the Führer had changed his mind as peremptorily as he had made it. He hoped that wasn't the case this time. Quite apart from souring an already problematical relationship, it would be left to him to go back to the meeting room and tell Stalin and his cronies the bad news. Even a diplomat has his limits. "Schulenburg, this is Wilhelm Ohnesorge." Schulenburg frowned. Why was the state secretary speaking to him? One of the Führer's inner circle, to be sure, but nothing to do with foreign policy. He racked his memory. Ohnesorge was responsible for the Reichspost, too. Something to do with radio propaganda, some other technical interests. There was no denying that the man was a polymath, but Schulenburg could only assume he was involved with the matter at hand by dint of his friendship with the Führer. That, he supposed, should please him. Everyone wanted to be part of what was coming. "Is everyone assembled?" "I beg your pardon?" "Herr Stalin and his... in the Politburo, are they all in attendance?" "Yes, Minister." "Excellent." Even over the telephone wire, Ohnesorge's nervous excitement was plain. The ambient sound over the line became muddied for a moment, as if a hand had been placed over the mouthpiece. Then Ohnesorge's voice returned clearly. "Excellent. The aeroplane. Ribbentrop is aboard the Führer's personal aircraft. Apparently there were some hydraulics problems."